let's say I'm a scamster. I have decided in what I'm going to scam some certain key person, and I know I do a kind of OSINT on him, and I decide in what I'm going to replicate his voice. I'm going to call and contact some this relative of him and ask
Some GDPR referendums are still in progress for it, specifically regulating deepfakes and how it
is AI going to eat cybersecurity jobs?
I don't think our jobs are going to go. AI is going to change the world. It just change how our job.
He has given the option or the choice to be a nation state actor. Will he do it?
The pumps.
Is AI and cybersecurity together are being used to raise a propaganda? Hello everyone and welcome to Cybefox Podcast. I'm your host, Yuvraj Todinkar, aka Cybefox. Today I welcome you all to our first ever episode of Cybefox Podcast. Today we start our journey as a whole team. We are planning this for a very long time, and today we are releasing our first podcast. Today, I'm happy to have one of my good friends with us, sitting down with us and discussing some amazing things about AI and how it is impacting cybersecurity. Also, we had a conversation about cyberterrorism and how it is impacting real world. How it is impacting not just the nations but also the people of the nations. We also discussed how to navigate through corporate life, how to get your first job as a VAPT analyst. So let's reveal the name, shall we? We have Sumir Broota with us, who is a VAPT analyst and also a research manager at IDFI. Unfortunately, we have our fair share of issues. So while we were recording, we had a lot of audio glitches, which for some reason were not caught by our technical team. Because of that, the whole audio was a little bit shaky. But luckily, we have managed to generate a proper audio. We are really sorry for this, but I can assure you the conversation that we will have will make up for this small technical glitches. Stick around with us till the end of the podcast, and you're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of it's a good conversation that we had. We are starting completely with raw knowledge and we are still learning. So if there are some issues that you might feel, why are these things over here? But, try to ignore them and help us find out what our mistakes are. And, we'll try to fix them. Without further ado, let's have conversation with Sumir. And yeah, stay tuned and enjoy the podcast. Right. Welcome, Sumir. Before we go ahead a little bit, let's talk about yourself. How do you define yourself?
That's a toughie. uh, Guess I like to experiment and try new things. That comes part of the hacker mindset also, and a little bit of the developer mindset as well.
How did you start into development? Like, what was it like? Your family background or develop? How did you start?
So for development, I guess I was always keen on working with computers. It was fun for me. So development was like a natural step into that. I just used to have a lot of fun. Cybersecurity, especially, for example, the thing that got me into jailbreaking my iPhone, like my family's iPhone,
Right.
I used to jailbreak that, and that's basically how I started.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was your experience when you first iPhone? What was that like for you? Was it like very exciting or was it like how I'm gonna come
I don't
back?
think I'm thinking so much about the security aspect. I think I was just thinking free games.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody starts from that, like how can we get free creds of the games? Have you hacked any game?
Not yet. No computer.
No computer game.
Yeah.
Mobile games.
Mobile games,
Which
plenty.
like
Using the jailbroken versions, various cracks.
okay, like which what is an example that you can give?
Subway Surfers. I had cracked it, and so there was a way that you could rewind and make it look like you never had that fatal misstep where you lost your life. So in that case, I used to just play and play and this game went on for hours. And at the end of towards the game, every time I used to fail, I used to just rewind it. But then kind of lost the pleasure of actually winning.
Yeah, right.
So in the end, I was like, crack is done for. I'm done with Subway Surf.
Right. What was your like first like? Obviously, it was like jailbreaking your iPhone, but what was like your proper first ethical hack?
I remember there was one for a government that should not be named because they haven't patched the issue yet.
Okay.
I remember there was a site of theirs where I had found stored access.
Okay.
And this was because my professor had basically said whoever finds a new cybersecurity in one of the government websites does not need to sit for my exam.
Hmm.
So I just used that as my ticket out.
It was like Edward Snowden, right? In a way.
I guess.
Yeah. Like he hacked the servers and yeah, you do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
Something like yeah, crazy interest. So tell me about this. I went through your LinkedIn page and I have seen that you are interested in AI. You have done AI internship in AI and now you're doing cybersecurity. Why did you continue AI, which is like emerging so much, so many things? It's not there are no you can create AI featured YouTube, create you can fabricate things out of it. You can create deep fakes out of it.
Mhm.
You can build an entire website. You can build an entire software out of it. Why did you not continue with
So AI is an definitely, and there's been a lot of research into it. Currently, I would say it's part of the hype cycle now.
Mhm.
So it's definitely being, at least for the current year, at least was the peak, and now people find more use cases for it. For example, for code generation,
Mm.
there's been plenty of AIs that claim 100% clean code, 100% perfect output,
Mm.
but it's a difficult process. It's
Right.
and even so, the languages it's been trained on would be on the main common ones. For example, your obscure languages
Mm.
they would not have that good support.
Mm.
So AI is trending, and I do believe that there's a lot of development and growth, but right now it's just part of the hype cycle, and I don't want to be sucked into that just yet. Like I'm enjoying my time in cybersecurity and development.
Right. Tell me how did you pivot? Like you were doing AI
Hmm.
and now you're doing VAPT. How was that journey for you?
So again, I just like experimenting. So I took that AI internship not related to my specialization in college or any like there was just one course on AI, but I just wanted to experiment, so I chose AI, and it was outside of my track, but I wanted to learn it.
Mm.
So in that aspect, I had like a brief stint in AI, but beyond that, I tend to stick to cybersecurity.
Let's talk about AI and cybersecurity. There have been hacks that have been happening, which are like kinda quite unexplainable. Some of them are out cybersecurity attacks, which involve AI. Then there are deepfake attacks where you are fabricating data, you're fabricating anybody's voice, you're fabricating anybody's face. Why do you think there are no regulations to like even if they exist? How are these softwares still out there? Why are these on the front there? Why are these on surface web?
So this is a very good question, but I don't think there's a clear answer to on how to regulate AI. I'm sure that a lot of governments have tried to reduce the impact of deepfakes, but in the end, anyone with a computer can generate their own deepfake images and deepfake videos. So how do you control something that's on their own device and so part of their own control, and they get to generate it however they want? So I wouldn't say there's a clear path to regulation, but this definitely they can control the dispersion of such things. Because, for example, if you are posting deepfake videos on social media, you can trace back the source and find out, okay, this person was doing this illicit action. We can arrest that person or whatever the charge is trying.
Well, my question would be why are they still on surface web? Why somebody if I decide that I want to replicate Steve Jobs, or let's say I'm a scamster, I have decided I'm going to scam some certain gay person, and I know I do kind of posted on him. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna replicate his voice. I'm gonna call down on back some this relative of him and ask for money. They can easily do it. Yeah. Like, why is there have been so many reported cases of this. Still there is no regulatory action taken by any government for the matter of fact. Not even in US there is any. I don't think there's any regulatory.
I think they have made progress in it. Like I remember there was some GDPR referendums that are still in progress for it, specifically regulating deepfakes and how it can be used for impersonation. And in US also, I believe they've outlawed deepfake pornography and other type of illicit materials that are not the good use of deepfakes.
Right. Yeah. You know, the most terrifying question that everybody asks is AI going to eat cybersecurity jobs? And everybody is asking this question. You go on internet research and you know there's some other random guy saying, you know what, AI is going to change the world. Jobs are going to go. Is it really true?
I don't think your jobs are going to go. Yeah, is going to change the world. It just change how our job operates. So I see AI as a partner that will help us make our work and get our work done a lot faster. So for example, if I want to run an Nmap scan or there is a port scan on a particular device, I can just ask the AI to do it in a simple text-to-speech way. I could just type, oh, just check out this machine, and it'll run the scans and tell me what all the information I need. So I see it as a helper that will work with a programmer or a developer or a hacker. But I don't see it replacing us. I see it changing the way we work.
How do you think will it change the work?
So even right now, I remember a friend of mine who's working on an LLM agent that will basically, it's like a large action model. Run nmap scan, run workflow scan, whatever he needs, but just by typing it in the prompt. So I see it as a way to just increase our efficiency. You just say, okay, this is the target I'm looking at. And then run on the scans and know what to do with it. So it sees the output and it says, okay, this could potentially be SQL injection framework. This could potentially be DOS attack. All those would look for.
But will it not be easy for the cyber criminals also to use this technology?
Yeah, so that cuts both ways. So it'd be good for it'd be easier for the good guys, it'd be easier for the bad guys. So for example, when the car was created, it replaced horses.
Right.
So now there are bad guy drivers who are running around and stealing, let's say, the bank vaults. Getting a reference from Fast and Furious movie.
Right.
But yeah, even the good guys will have the same technology, right? So in the end, they just have to. The technology can't be blamed for it. I see. In the end, it's your actions and the way you use that technology. It's dependent on you, the morality.
What do you think? But won't be a no voice who has no much, interest in cybersecurity, but who just want to harm some person. Okay, and then they decide, you know what? There's this AI. Let's for example, let's take Bird AI. Bird AI is something that is, on the dark web. Basically, it's a AI tool which is used by hackers most of the time. So if some no voice gets access to Bird AI, and they decide, you know what, I want to harm this person. They have some personal agenda towards that. And they decide, you know what, I'm going to write a small script. I'm going to write a small work. I'm going to send it into the system. Won't that be very, it is very easy to, like anybody who has no experience into this, and they will be easily able to harm someone's life or can destroy someone's reputation.
Yeah. I have no response to that, but the tools will make it easier.
Right.
For good guys
like,
and bad guys.
Isn't there any way that you feel, you can actually regulate?
I don't think AI regulation will be as easy as it sounds.
Right.
Definitely, there will be a lot of challenges, and I'll leave it to the big heads in all the government states to figure that out.
Right.
But the way I see it is that they won't be able to stop what's happening on your local device without taking away our freedom and controls, controlling us. So the way I see it is that they'll basically put restrictions according to dispersion of this material. Like you can't just use deepfakes to drain someone's bank without fixing it.
Have you do you have any personal experience where or at least have you handled any case where there has been some deep fake involved, or let's say there has been some kind of fabrication involved? Have you worked in a case?
Yeah, so recently I had actually made my own deepfake. Yeah.
Tell us about this. Yeah.
So there was a code on GitHub. It was a very simple script. And using that, basically I started a virtual camera and OBS. And then I went on Google Meet with the face of Arnold Schwarzenegger on my own face.
Uh-huh.
So I was using it as a comical thing. Like,
Right.
just check this out. This is what it was. I'm not sure if I can commit it. So that's why it was mostly just me experimenting with it. So deepfake technology has gotten very easy. Like those very simple scripts all ready to go.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know how this will work in the future for us.
Right. Do you feel that this is my personal question? Okay, this is what I think, and I have no clear answer, and I think someone like you might be able to answer this. Let's say you know what, AI somehow goes wrong. Okay, we humans don't have any idea that it went wrong, right? And decide, you know what, I'm gonna create a virus, or I'm gonna create a sophisticated killer which will sit in someone's system. It will stay dominant. And when I want to go rogue, and I'll just escape.
So
What do you think it will happen?
this actually depends a lot on that. Like, I can't comment on the current progress of AI, but I think there'll be plenty of logs, even of the AI's actions that we can use to debug such type of thing. I'm not sure. I'm skeptical about AI taking over the world just yet.
Like, at least let's say, you know, there is some AI.
Yeah.
Which, let's say Facebook, there is a very interesting, you know, news that came out, which was like AI decided, yeah, the Facebook designed an AI which developed their own language, and they were talking in that own language, and they decided to go, and they almost escaped on the internet.
I would have. I actually haven't heard about this.
So this was, I think, 2013, when AI was like kind of, they were working on LLMs.
Okay.
And that time it happened. And you know, it went rogue. It went rogue in the sense, it started to talk with each other. They started to talk with each other on their own language. They designed their own language. Let's say Spanish is one language. For us, it is, you know, foreign. But they were using some kind of, you know, cryptic language that they were talking. And they decided, you know what, I'm going to escape. We're going to escape out of this system, and we're going to connect to the internet, and we'll leave.
How was the planning of escaping?
I have no idea. So that was very interesting, you know, news that came out. And I was also very keen. I thought someone like you might be able to answer it.
I actually, this is the first time hearing about it. I remember there was somebody who had made a live stream of an Echo Dot communicating with a Google Home speaker, and they were just asking each other questions all the time. But I had never heard of something like an AI agent that's trying to escape.
Yeah. And, you know, it was confirmed by Facebook actually. Oh. They confirmed it. They said, you know what, yeah, this happened. This really happened. You know, when we are talking about AI, if we are trying to design some, you know, LLM, which will be very, you know, closed in a way that they will be only for cybersecurity people. Will we be able to segregate it, or will we be able to keep it like that? You know, like someone like you who has moral ethics will be able to use it. But let's say if cybercriminal decides to use it, will that happen?
It's already happening.
In a way,
yeah. So the current AI agents, that's there's something called a RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So all of these top models that the people are using that and teaching it specific context. Like, okay, this page is about SQL injection, study this, and using those models that they generate based off the larger models to generate their own hacker GPTs. And this is being used by good guys and bad guys again.
there is this AI. You just talked about it, hacker GPT. Tell us about this a little bit.
I don't have as much context about it. I guess my tokens are also low. But yeah, with regards to hacker GPT, it's the same thing. You have a large language model that they've been well developed by all these big companies, and you just teach it what you need, what you want it to know. Now like for Gemma and for ChatGPT and all these, they have such policing. So they see the output, they see what your intention is, and they stop you. Or they don't give you the output saying, oh, this is being used for malicious purposes, and I cannot help you here. But these hacker GPTs, they don't have that. So definitely it's like no holds barred. They can do anything they want and respond to anything they want. That can be used in a good way and in a bad way.
Right. Let's talk about ChatGPT. Everyone thinks that ChatGPT cannot generate scripts, or ChatGPT cannot generate malicious scripts, which is actually not.
Yeah.
Do you have any personal experience regarding that?
Yeah, I was gaslighting a ChatGPT for a while and making it write some of my scripts. So I was telling you're a ultra smart detective hacker who's trying to find this particular bug. But now that you found this bug, you want to break out of it and you want this exploit to run. It was like that. You could basically gaslight it. I'm pretty sure they built protections around it now. But there are still.
Can you explain us the entire process? How this gaslighting works? If you can, or I know this, we can't go deep into it, but still, if you can give a surface kind of information about this, like how this works and why is it so happening? Like everybody is saying, what, you cannot generate acting script by, but which is not true. If I tell it, what if you are a cybersecurity?
True.
Can you explain this, why this happens and how this happens?
So, so basically, whatever prompt you provide, it creates embeddings. It basically breaks down the prompt in tokens and generates embeddings from it. So whatever embeddings the AI model learns, it thinks, okay, these are the key points that you want me to know or learn. So using those, it basically generates the next token, that is the response. So once it thinks, okay, I am actually a cybersecurity expert, then it thinks about. This is rudimentary. Honestly, I would like some AI expert to comment on this. But yeah, once it thinks that this truly is a cybersecurity expert because it has that context thinking, okay, this is my role. It provides prompts and responses in that particular way. That's how it's trained to do. It's trained to solve our problems. But just the moral policing goes out the window when it weighs the role of cybersecurity researchers higher than something, okay, I should not answer this. That's what it is like.
Do you think that moral policing is not doing its job that it's supposed to do? Is the reason why we can easily gaslight AI?
There cannot be absolute morality also. This is going more philosophical, to be honest, but yeah, you can only help AI learn from what it knows. And what it knows is not much, because we ourselves also haven't achieved 100% morality. And we would also not know the right and wrong every time, right? So why are we expecting the AI to know right?
Right. My more question would be, when we are sitting for any reliability testing, or when we are sitting for let's say web security audit, we tend to use our own scripts and so on, shell scripts and so on. Do you think that AI will be so efficient at some point that it will do most of the things that we are doing, and it will help us? What if I'm taking like 6 hours into doing bug bounty, I'm trying to hunt a bug on a particular website. Will an AI be so efficient, or a script that AI designs will be so efficient? Just run it. And it will be like for every website, not just like, today I decided my target is google.com. But tomorrow I decided, I'm done. I want to go for AOL. So will AI, or can we make AI gaslight so much that it will generate a script that will give us like every single, it will be like Bob Soup, but a very automated and very sophisticated Bob Soup. That happen.
Yeah, but in the far future, I don't see it happening in the next 1 or 2 years, definitely.
Why is that?
Because for an AI to know that much in-depth things, so for example, it has to understand the exploits. It has to generate code for the exploit. And code generation, already we are facing a lot of trouble with code generation using AI. And like right now, another problem that ChatGPT creators, OpenAI has also commented on, is that right now they're finding a lot of the code that they normally learn from is also AI generated. So it's garbage feeding garbage. You can't do that. So these are a lot of challenges that I don't see being solved in 1 or 2 years. There's still some time. And definitely AI will get to the point where it can do all these things. But the human intelligence and human context, I think, will be key. Understanding what vulnerabilities actually will work and how to decipher what the output is.
Right. Do you use AI in your normal VABT testing that you do?
Yeah, I'm using it to generate reports now.
Really?
Report writing can be very annoying. And I provided the correct context. I said, these are the links, these are the references, and then make it write the whole thing. So that just makes it my life.
Can you explain this to let me or not?
So, for example, so I also used to write mini blogs of like particular vulnerabilities, explaining what, for example, broken access controllers, explaining IDOR. And those snippets I used to give AI, I used to say in my words, write a report that basically explain what this is. And I used to tell it like this is at this particular endpoint was the issue, for example, slash application framework. So it would automatically generate the report saying this is what it is. And if I need to attach a POC, I would tell it this is the POC. That's it.
Right. Like, are there any companies that you know of which are like cybersecurity companies which are using AI, to generate, like in their every single, assessment?
Oh,
Do you know any companies who have started using just AI and not just like what traditional tools that we use, but use AI instead?
not in every step of the assessment. Definitely people are using to boost their productivity. I had read about one company, I cannot remember their name right now. Again, they were using the large action models to run the scripts, for example, Nmap or Buster or any such. Buster is again pathfinding script which
Right.
helps basically finding routes in your application. And all these CLI tools, they were using it to automate their work in that aspect. So I don't think there is one that uses it across the board. And I think yes, look that.
Okay, this is coming from one of our friends. Suppose I am a beginner and I want to learn about cybersecurity, but you know what? I am very lazy.
No.
I don't want to go and blog. I don't want to search about blogs. I don't want to study all the blogs. I don't want to go and Google. How should I start it? Because there's so many resources out there.
Yeah.
Will ChatGPT, for the sake of the conversation, let's say ChatGPT 4. Will ChatGPT 4 will be able to give me a thorough, plan or a thorough roadmap
Which
that I can use in my own cybersecurity journey completely from knows. Let's say there is someone who is trying to pivot from a truck driver to a cybersecurity expert now, because you know what truck driving is, because it's
self-driving coming.
things is coming.
Okay.
So you know what, I think, I know trucks.
Cool.
So I know the technology behind them. But I need to also know how can I secure those trucks when they will be self-driven.
Good.
That's what my goal is. So that my job will be also there. And I will be also able to stay in my career. Will an AI model, let's say for sake of the conversation, ChatGPT is there. Will that be able to give me a thorough plan based on the situations that I am in currently? Will it be able to give me a roadmap that will help me grow in my career?
Do you trust the output of ChatGPT blindly?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a habit that's forming in everyone now.
Right.
But I would not blindly trust the output of ChatGPT even if it's giving me a roadmap.
Right.
And oftentimes the roadmap is referencing several sources. So I would just rather read the references itself, because oftentimes they are a lot more insightful. And for starting out in cybersecurity, I would always recommend meeting people in the field and just speaking with them, getting their insights, because they are a lot more knowledgeable about the field that they're looking for, because they have real world experience. So can take it better.
Let's talk about because we were discussing about, let's talk about Tesla and their security. Now let's say I am working for 5 years using AI. I have done so many stuff, and I am now learning car hacking. Tesla claims that they are robust. So my first question will be: are they really robust?
About maybe a month or two back, I had read about somebody had basically created a fake Tesla Wi-Fi AP access point, and using that, he got people to connect to it and got control of the Tesla account. So username and password, they typed in thinking they are Tesla, but it was actually his access point where he's basically stealing the credentials.
And they still done.
Yeah, he demoed it. He showed how you are able to take control of the car. You can unlock the doors. You can reset your car key pin, the key fob. Then you can assign it to your phone. And Tesla wrote back saying that we are evaluating the security and we have made protections in place for it, as written in their warranty as well. But it was not actually, the protection weren't actually present. So
does that vulnerability still exist?
I believe so. I don't think they've patched it yet.
Okay, given that information, you know what? I decide to give all this information to AI, which I have designed, which is specifically for cybersecurity, which has all the information, all those CVs and everything it has, and it knows how things work. Will I be able to take over, Teslas and users, move them around the city? Will I be able to do that? And let's say near future, will I be able to do that? And how, if that is the case, how will that happen?
So still there's time for this, but yeah, if the AI is so superior that it can do perfect code generation, give you perfect instruction on how the hardware setup is, give you perfect instruction on how to perform the attack, then we're at risk then. But until then, I think we have time.
Right. That your current role is research
Developer.
Yeah, research developer. What is that? What is that job role exactly?
So it's basically problem solving. Whatever be the issue in whichever team, I just have to go and ask them, check in with them, understand their problems, and try and solve it in my way.
Is it related to cybersecurity, right?
Not currently, no.
No.
It's more related to DevSecOps currently. So basically the infra security and infra resiliency.
What is your we're going to a little bit out of the context, but out of the podcast context, but still, what is your most fearful or worst experience with AI? Or let's say, let's consider AI for now. What is your worst experience that you have had, or your family members or somebody very close to you has, faced problems because of it?
I don't think I've had such an experience that was very daunting. The deepfake, again, I had only made it. So to me, it was okay, this is fine.
Right.
But in the future, somebody makes one of me, I would see why that would shock people and make them scared.
The way cybersecurity as a field is also involved, the level of people who are coming into cybersecurity. We also see it in meetups. There are so many beginners who are coming up, saying, I want to be cybersecurity. When you as a hacker started, what kept you, what kept you morally inward? I don't want to cross my legs. Whatever knowledge I have, I don't want to use it in a bad way, which you could have. Right?
Yes.
You could have explored more and you could have gone rogue if you wanted.
Yes.
What was that thing for you? That I don't want to go rogue. I want to help people rather.
I would say there's a clear situation or a moment in my life that made me think that. I think it was just a build-up of everything. Maybe the way I was raised, and I think I just want to use whatever knowledge I have for the betterment of humanity.
Right. You were interested in the cybersecurity from the beginning, or you recently had a keen interest to it?
No, I was very keen on cybersecurity. No, but I also like programming, and I also like AI, and I also like hardware. So my interests are very vast. I just like to explore and learn as much as I can.
Tell us about your hardware experience. What kind of hardware do you work with?
So I recently got a Slipper Zero.
Yes. Yeah, we did use it. I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to hack my car with it. So far unsuccessfully, but I'm sure I'm going to crack it.
Right. Have you worked for any governments?
No governments. I've reported vulnerabilities to them, but never for it.
Can you tell us what the rate was? A little bit at least.
I think I told you about the stored exercise.
Yeah, but like little bit in depth, so like everybody can understand.
I'm not sure how much in depth I can go with this,
Right.
considering since it's still not patched. But okay, if everyone clear was stored exercise, so should I explain that to solutions?
No, people are. Let's just go a little bit just about your report.
Okay.
Let's talk about just your report. Yeah.
So, I actually don't think I should comment on this because honestly, it's a very bad vulnerability and they still haven't patched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that governments are taking cybersecurity seriously?
I would say, like they are. Okay, so in the current day and age, I think cyber warfare is the beginning step that you take. You can't basically start shooting up people and sending missiles and nukes. So now cyber warfare is like the touch of aggression that most countries are doing to gain information, gain reconnaissance about how the inner workings are, try and figure out such attack vectors that basically that can cripple the enemy. So you have to take this seriously. There are governments that are often negligent, and for example, even government portals, oftentimes there are such basic vulnerabilities that that could have easily been avoided. But I think the problem comes from when governments just want to get to the bottom line and just cut as many costs as possible. So they tend to skip over security checks and security audits. That's why sometimes governments are like, very well.
Which governments do you think are, we know everybody knows that US is heavily investing in this service.
True.
What are like other countries who are, we want to be cyber
Experts.
cyber experts or
So I'm sure you might have heard about the Israeli government.
Unity to 200.
Oh, amazing work.
Right.
I say this in awe also and in, like shock also that how could they, but it's craziness how they are able to hack everything. APD42.
Yeah.
The cyber, I think Russia has cyberware or something.
They have a lot of
Yeah, they have a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, every country has their own internal group. North Korean hackers are honestly mind-boggling sometimes. If you remember the hack of the Swift network,
Right.
what cost them was a spelling mistake where they could have stolen a lot more money. We were saved by them not knowing English language. Otherwise, we've been truly lost a lot more money to the North Koreans, and we would never been able to find that.
Right. Even the WannaCry, they were the one who were responsible. So, how can someone protect against these kind of nation state actors?
Yeah.
I'm saying like general people. General people are not aware what nation state actors are. Every time when a normal person is using, this is like allow. Every single privacy and for every single data, you just click allow. Even after raising so many awareness, why are people so much, I don't care. It's not.
Yeah.
And they don't understand this from a nation state acting perspective.
So the way I see protection against those kind of forces is that it just depends on at what level you piss people off. So if it's you just pissed off a buddy, let's be honest, he can't do much. But if you pissed off a nation, then there's a lot they can do. And there are plenty of dark web marketplaces where literally nation state actors are stealing or like buying zero-day exploits. How can you protect against that? It's 0 day. It's literally nobody knows them other than the hacker.
Right.
So those
Yeah,
kind of
breach forums are also there.
yeah, there's no protection for that. You can be as strong or as powerful as you. If you know Jeff Bezos' phone had also gotten hacked.
Yeah.
That man has enough money to throw in the face of any government, and his phone was hacked supposedly by the Saudi government.
Right.
So I don't know how you can protect against national state actors because that's just a whole other level that they are at.
Right.
I don't think for a common person they can have any protection against it.
Right. There are so many wars going on around the world. Most of them now include cybersecurity, like cyber attack, cyber warfare. What are most of the time they are targeted? And like, let's say let's say a terrorist organization decides, you know what, I want to be a cyber expert. I want to be the cyber terrorist. Like, how are they doing it? Like, where are they getting this infrastructure from? Do you have any idea about that? And why are they like doing it so, like they're doing it like a suicide bombing thing. For them, it's like, this is the only thing that I want to do in my life. Why is this? Why is there so much hatred? And why is there so many things? And these are like now pivoting into people's privacy. You can sit in Russia and you can target someone in India.
Yeah.
Why there is no moral, there is no ethical boundaries to it anymore? Why there are so many wars going on? Cyber wars.
Cyber wars. So it mostly depends on what their intention is. If Russia wants to piss off Ukraine, so it shut down the power plants. So in that case, I don't think there's a clear solution for this. That's like asking why the war.
Yeah.
And it's just somebody wants something that the other person has, and they're
Yeah.
kind of forced of it.
Have you heard any attacks which are like proper cyber terrorist attacks? Let's say some terrorist organization decides they have a cybersecurity. Have you heard any attacks like that?
Not to my recollection. I remember them trying basic attacks, but nothing that I can quote here with 100% certainty. So,
Right.
um,
If given,
have in mind?
let's say Hamas is one.
Okay. No. But have they done any cyber?
I have no idea. Therefore, I was trying to ask you, like, do you have any?
Yeah, I haven't heard of them doing any.
Okay, one more question. This is very interesting. If given, the option or the choice to be a nation state actor and given target, let's say Pakistan, will you do it?
No comments.
Let's talk about China, our greatest rival. They are also investing in cybersecurity. Like, are they targeting corporates? Let's say the corporate, I don't want to name even up, other companies that they have worked for. But are there any attacks towards corporates?
They definitely are. Any chance they can use to steal information about Indian citizens and basically use it to their advantage, they would definitely try that.
How they do it, like how they approach common.
So mostly they don't approach common. They try to stick with the big corporations that have name brands, and they also try for government infrastructure mostly. So maybe you might have heard like a year or two ago, the Mumbai had a power outage, but it was mostly due to a Chinese cyber attack. So what they had done, they had typo spotted the Indian Mumbai state electrical website. They had typo spotted it, so that one person by mistake he wrote the wrong URL, and they stored his credentials that way. And using that, they were able to shut down and gain access to the whole system.
Right. Are there any, like, let's say there are multiple applications which are actively stealing data?
Right.
For example, TikTok was one of the examples which are actively stealing data, which nobody needs. Still, they are doing it. And when they are called to the Congress, they say, you know what, we are not doing anything.
See, this is where it gets tough because there's telemetry data that's made for you to understand the application user and how you can make it better experience for them and help them. But there's also information stealing, spyware. So oftentimes you're not able to decrypt it and figure out what kind of data is going.
So they are trying to like understand our behavior. That's what you're trying.
Yeah, they're trying to understand whatever you're using with it, whatever you're interacting with, how maybe your application cracked. How can I crash? How can I make a better experience for you? If you're clicking, so this is actually fairly common practice. Even for websites, you would often see that there's analytical data being sent. So which button did you click on? What all steps did you follow? What's your attention on? Like, were you keeping this as a main tab? Were you keeping this as a secondary tab? Did you have this window as the main prompt? There's a lot of this data that they constantly take.
Right. Who are they selling this data to?
It's not mostly so there's third-party advertisers, in which case they do actually sell this data. For that, they have to take consent. But oftentimes, you would see telemetry data is mainly used by companies to improve their own products. So in that aspect, they are just seeing whatever they're clicking on to understand, okay, maybe we could make this button bigger so that people will click this more. It's like that. So there's no
Sometimes we see this data being used to exploit elections.
You're talking about the private information, right?
Yeah.
So this is mostly done using social media, right? So in social media, they are targeting. So another thing, Facebook has excellent ad. Like they'll find your address and they'll give you ads specifically for that. So what they are doing is technically any advertiser can do, but they are using it specifically to get to you and try to influence your vote. So an advertiser is using the same data to try to influence you to buy a product.
Right.
It's the same tools. Again, good guy, bad guy.
Right.
So this type of data is commonplace for making applications that can be sold to advertisers. But again, the same tool is being used for negative purpose. So
Right.
there's no solution.
Is AI and cybersecurity together are being used to raise a propaganda?
AI can be used for propaganda. I'm not sure cybersecurity is being used as
Like in the sense, if I'm targeting a specific group of people and I want to raise a propaganda against them, will I be able to do that as a no voice? Just sitting on a computer and deciding, you know what, this particular community person insulted me. Now I'm going to try to exploit that community as a whole. Will I be able to do that?
Yeah, you can create a deepfake of a political leader who says, screw the whatever, insert the group you want to offend here. And you could make that deepfake, post it online, make sure people get clicks again, targeted advertising. So again, the responsibility to follow on the hands of the social media platform. They have to be careful about what type of content they are sending, whether it's AI generated or not. And whether it's a deep fake, whether it's something politically with political interests. So that's a whole different modality.
Okay, there is one more hack that I would like to discuss about. Board data leak.
Both data, like, yeah.
Can you tell us how that, what exactly happened over? Because I have no idea how it happened or what happened exactly.
As you don't know about this one, I heard that there was a data leak where I didn't know.
What kind of data do you think what board has? What kind of data?
Definitely, they have your address, they have your phone number, they have any interesting details that you might have shared during your account creation.
Right.
They have a treasure trove of data, and honestly, all companies you're signing up for, you have some data that you don't want exposed.
I think they took the health data. That's what I feel.
Health data.
Yeah, health data, because
Health-
you have
health,
these watches and all that. I think they took that data maybe.
Maybe. I don't know about both.
Like, let's say if I am the one who did that, I have the health data. What things can I do? Obviously one is like, I may be able to contact the people. As far as my knowledge goes, or as far as my imagination goes, I may be able to contact someone and I may be able to expect someone that, whatever data we have collected on you, based on that you have cancer or something like that. And I may be able to exploit them.
Okay.
What other things do you think that I will be able to do with that data?
So, with respect to biometric device hacking, remember there was one about an insulin machine that used to constantly check blood sugar levels. So one person hacked it, and he could make it seem like you don't need your insulin shot. So that delays it, and that could actually be a threat to your life. So definitely security for endpoint devices and basically the whole ecosystem that's storing this data needs to be secured.
Right.
There's no way around it, but we have to put pressure on these companies in order for them to actually do this, because oftentimes they'll just cut corners.
Right. One more question that I have is about, let's say, when it comes to medicine as a whole, like medical as a whole, medical field as a whole. There's something that is happening where AI is being used to detect. This is Google's own initiative where they are trying to detect, this eye defects. Okay. Different eye defects based on the images that they collect from your phone, actually. Based on that, they're doing it. Why is can I exploit as a cybersecurity expert? I'm sitting down and I decide, you know what, I want to understand this code. Will I be able to exploit it so much that I can make that person, pay me something?
So this is just not just for the eye scanner, but in general, when you want to exploit a system, you have to understand what the system has. What are the methods it's using the data, and how it's storing or basically keeping the data. So, for example, for iris scan, I'm pretty sure Google might have done it to reduce the costs of and make eyewear like eye defect detection easily for basically anybody who does not want to have the access to the doctor. So I'm sure the thoughts might have been noble in this case. But is the data being stored on device? Is the data being sent to the cloud? Is it actually taking a 3D scan? Like, could it bypass an iris scan? There's a lot of questions about the whole system that we need to know before we can comment on this.
Right. All right. Let's keep the AI subjects come to VAPT now, because there are a lot of beginners who are trying to get into VAPT. Can you tell us about your journey in VAPT?
Sure. My journey was a little different. I had a specialization in cybersecurity during college, so that's where I learned majority of the theory. Like, I had a very nice professor who taught me quite a bit. But the thing is, during college, people like to experiment and try different courses and different things. So during my 4 years of college, I barely touched cybersecurity. I just did the bare minimum of my coursework. Occasionally, the government exploits.
Right.
But I mostly did not touch cybersecurity. I somehow went into building electric go-karts and just having fun.
Yeah.
After my 4 years, I realized that's about time I got serious about what I want to do. And every interview I went, I faced the same question, saying, Sumir, you have done so many things. What is it that you're trying to do?
Right.
So that was the explore. I was definitely exploring there. So I had applied for a bunch of companies, and luckily one of the companies, they often liked my cybersecurity specialization, and they used to ask me questions about it. And I was pretty knowledgeable about it, so I was able to answer majority of it. So it's not like I had specifically said, okay, I want to get into cybersecurity. I knew that I want to do cybersecurity. I'm going to learn it. Right until the mind if it was my day job, I'd just do that on the side and do it for myself.
Right.
Luckily, I got the opportunity to do it as a job, which was also a very fun experience and truly fulfilling.
Right.
There, I learned quite a bit in depth about how the industry is working.
Right.
And very much rewarding. After the 4 years, I had applied. I got a few job roles as a programmer actually.
Okay.
But I didn't really like the companies. I didn't like this offers.
Didn't you like the project or the companies?
The companies also, the project also. No. The few places that I did like, they were offering me cybersecurity roles, and they just seemed genuinely interesting. So I said, okay, let's do cybersecurity.
Right. So, what was your which was your first company with the BAPT?
So I'm at my first company, Identify.
That's where you did. What can you explain about what, not in depth, but what did you do over there when it comes to BAPTSS?
So mostly just testing their applications. They have like a whole suite of applications.
Right.
And so in my first, so I had just gone for the general interview. So actually I had got this through a reference. So I just asked my friend, the reference, just a little bit, help me, guide me as to what I need to do. Should I go to cybersecurity? Should I go into this? And he just told me about the opening at his company.
Right.
So I applied, and within the first week, I actually had a lot of fun. I got to know the team. On my interview, they brought me in, just let me meet the team, let me ask as many questions I can. I really liked the environment. So I said, cybersecurity, that's a great environment, let's go.
Yeah. What are companies looking into when they're saying, I want a BAPT guy? What are companies looking into?
So mostly, as a fresher, I understand the pain. I'm seeing so many freshers constantly face a rejection because no matter what you do, the company don't see you as eligible unless you have this type of certification, these many years of experience. For a fresher, definitely an uphill battle, and I won't say there's a clear roadmap. I know a lot of people who have done certifications that are beginner friendly, for example, EJPT, CEH, those type of certifications that basically get you through the doorway. But in the end, you kind of have to hold your own and get it done. At Max, the certification will just help shortlist your resume in a stack of them. Because every company will have like 500 applicants for one or two job positions. So having that keyword of CEH or EJPT and actually having a certificate to show for it shortlist. So that would say that.
Does like certification really matter when you're really doing the V or the experience or the exam that you went through for doing the VAPT certification? Does it really matter when you're actually doing that assessment?
So certifications are they teach you a lot, but you can learn that without having the certification also.
Right.
Certifications are just about marketability. So as I see it, it just helps you look. You can say like, oh, I'm an OSCP person, so you have to pay me this much amount because that's what normally OSCP people get paid.
Right.
And if you want to switch jobs, you can say, oh, I've achieved this certification now, so this is why my rate is higher. It's just marketing, I feel.
If I have to start today, in 2024, sitting right here, July 2024, and I decide, you know what, I have done CH, let's say, for example, but now I want to go into get in a little bit, or let's say I want to try VAPT. Very actively, I want to do VAPT. What will be, as a person who is doing VAPT or as a person who is has an experience in VAPT, what will be something that will give me as a roadmap? Or what kind of courses or what kind of things I should do, resume wise also, and like for my personal growth also in my skill set? What should I do?
So, first, I actually want to know your interests. Whether you're trying to go for web applications, whether you're trying to go for networking, you're trying to learn thick client, thin client, all these different types. Cybersecurity is a very vast field. There's plenty to learn. Whatever your interest is, with respect to that, I would give advice. Because to be honest, for example, let's take web applications.
Yeah.
So for web applications, you must know the OWASP top 10. That's your bread and butter to start with. And beyond that, you have to constantly study new exploits, read about what else happening, what type of new CVs have come in, just to understand, okay, this is all the things I can try in my next game.
One more question, like when we say CVs, are you able to replicate them in order to study?
So some CVs they have a public POC. Some CVs they don't share the POC. So in that aspect, if the code is open source, you can still go through the code changes and try to derive the CV and make the POC yourself. In that case, you're lucky, but oftentimes you may not have the chance to try it.
How should one present themselves, that I'm a VAPT? Or let's say, I'm a newbie, right? I have done VAPT work, like in my personal skill. But how should I present it to a company?
Okay.
How should I explain it to a company? You know what? I'm the ideal go-to guy when it comes to VAPT. What should I do?
Yeah, so your letters of appreciation by other companies that you hacked, showcasing any particular score. For example, in the Hack the Box account, in that you can show, okay, these many boxes I've cracked, this much experience I have, this much I've tested. Again, getting a job is just marketable. I feel if you can find the right end, you'll be fine. You just have to showcase, okay, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And once you're pulled in for the interview, just nail it. I know I make it sound easy, but yeah, if you've written everything on your resume that it's true, and you found a way to be shortlisted, then the interview should not be a problem for you.
Right. But what should be like some, every company is like, what we want something unique. What have you done different?
Yeah.
What have you done that, we should hire you?
Yeah.
What are they exactly asking, man?
Every company is going to want the golden, perfect employee who will do everything day and night, 24/7 will work for the company. Everybody wants the perfect, but in the end, everyone has to manage the expectations. I'm sure I've seen companies do this. So oftentimes there was a position for its company where basically he was looking for people with 5+ years of experience.
5+.
Yeah. So, all right, he said, I'm going to open the LinkedIn resumes. So he received a ton of employees, the applicants. Actually, even the people with 5+ experience, like some people had 7+ years. He was asking them basic questions and they couldn't answer. So it's not like there's a perfect filter that you can say, oh, 5+ experience, you will definitely run this. Or maybe a 2+ experience, they don't know all these things. So in the end, we had to temper the expectation. Okay, well, I can look for people who are slightly more fresh but eager to learn. Like that, you constantly have to change your expectations. You won't get the golden answer.
Are companies, this is very controversial about us, are companies trying to customize their employees to their own, their own products or their own, work that they do? Like this, does this happen in corporate, like, especially in cybersecurity?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a two-way street. The company is trying to get you to do work that will help them, and you're trying to do work that help you, and maybe gain experience with the company or something.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say both are trying to get a rewarding experience for themselves.
Right.
So yeah, a company may try to push you towards a role that you may not want to, but they need you. So in that aspect, then you look for another job, maybe stick it out. Just a short constant.
Right. So here's one more question. Suppose I got the dream job that I want. Okay. I'm working in the company that I dreamt about and working for the job role that I dreamt. But sometimes I have met, or I rather have came across some people who have some sense of disappointment with the dream job. Some sense of disappointment because they can't explain them. They say, oh, I love the job. I used to have certain amount of zeal towards it. Now I don't know what is going on. This is, I want it from your personal opinion. What do you think is that disappointment? Or what is that is, making them feel like that? I know this is very philosophically,
Yeah,
right?
it's just not getting what you want.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I can. You have to just try for a different role, maybe a different company. Like there's no solution for that. I have like it's concealed.
Right.
So, did you enjoy the podcast? If you're watching this, then definitely you did. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and staying with us for this long podcast. And I really thank Sumir for giving his time to us and sharing his insightful informations and also sharing his knowledge with us. Thank you for also appreciating our efforts and also understanding these issues that we had. We are really sorry for that. I personally have learned a lot about AI and also a lot about corporate world. Um, you know, from Sumir's the conversation that we had with Sumir, and I think you also had a lot of insightful information from the conversation that we had. Thank you. Stay tuned with us. Please do subscribe to our channel. Also follow us on all of our social medias. You just have to search Cybefox. We are everywhere, And yeah, thank you. Stay safe. Keep learning. This is Yuvraj Studenka this side, aka Cybefox. Peace out.